What's up guys, JV2017 here, and today I wanted to share a ton of new workshop items that might be coming to Fallout 4 very soon. On the forum site for a small developer called Facepunch Studios, a user by the name of Omolong shared some information he was able to dig up out of the public beta for Update 1.5. He claims that Bethesda added a bunch of new keywords and categories for new workshop items. The list only has items for new categories and doesn't include any items that go into existing categories. He continues by saying that he can't confirm whether these items will be part of an update, part of Far Harbor, part of a future DLC, or if they'll even be released at all. And as always, I've left a link to the original post in the description below if you'd like to check it out for yourselves. So we've got a lot to talk about here in terms of when we might see this in Fallout 4, but first let's go through and list these new item categories. The first group is under structures, and that's where most of the new items are located. And the first subcategory is called boxcars. And if you weren't familiar, boxcars are those giant freight containers that you see on railroad tracks that follow behind a train. And so we're gonna have a blue option and an orange option. This makes a lot of sense because Bethesda added buses and trailers to Wasteland Workshop, so you're able to place those items in the world. This is a similar kind of item, so this just makes sense to me. Next is scaffolding, which has floors, miscellaneous, prefabs, roofs, stairs, framework, and doors within this category. So if you're not familiar, scaffolding is what construction workers put up with the poles and really flimsy kind of wood in order to kind of construct a building. You see this kind of near outside of Diamond City. I think there's some super mutants that are kind of hanging out on some scaffolding. That's what that is. And so apparently this is going to be just like a wood or a metal or a concrete category. Scaffolding is going to have its own options just like those. So if you want a scaffolding house or a scaffolding mansion or some huge scaffolding, structure, you can do it apparently. I'd imagine the same thing applies to warehouse, which is the next subcategory that has doors, floors, miscellaneous, prefabs, roofs, stairs, and walls. The only difference between these two in terms of the subcategory list is that scaffolding has framework and warehouse has walls. And I guess that makes sense because scaffolding, you can't make a legitimate, wall. It's completely secure and structured, whereas with a warehouse, I'm sure you can. And also, if I had to guess, warehouse probably has a combination of concrete and steel in terms of style, probably something we've already seen in some places in the game. Still within the structures category, we have the barn subcategory, which if you guys have been paying attention to my channel for the past few days, I released a Far Harbor kind of update video letting you guys know exactly what's going on, some new information that's been revealed, and one of the new bits of information was barns, and this idea that you could build barn structures, and it was revealed by Bethesda because they did a Wasteland Workshop DLC stream, and I think they accidentally left barns in as a new structure building option. So this makes me feel like this entire information dump is more legitimate than it was before. So the building options are once again doors, floors, miscellaneous, prefabs, roofs, stairs, and walls, the same as warehouse. And then we've got something very unique and different called ball track, which has straight, curves, and miscellaneous. A quick Google search confirms exactly what I thought a ball track was, and that's literally like a marble track, or it doesn't have to be a marble, but basically it doesn't have to be a children's toy, but it is some kind of track that you can set up and send balls down and through these chutes, and it's kind of cool, but I'm just curious how this applies to Fallout and how this would fit into Fallout, how it would be useful, and on and on and on. So if you guys have any ideas how a ball track would be useful in Fallout, let me know. The last new category under structures is possibly the most exciting of all of these, and that's elevators. We're gonna have elevators, guys, if this is confirmed, of course. Elevators, incredible. So if you have these really tall structures, then finally you have a more convenient way to scale those and get up to the very top. At first I thought this would be under power because it makes more sense there, but stairs are under structures, so elevators being under structures makes a lot of sense too. But wow, elevators, guys. The next big category up is decorations, and within decorations our first subcategory is display. Finally, a lot of people have been asking for this. This was in Skyrim, I think added in a DLC, maybe not, I'm not sure, but we've got armor racks, weapon racks, power armor displays, and mini display cases. Finally, there's a way to put all of our hard-earned stuff on display. I don't have to throw all of my stuff into a random trunk somewhere in some random container. Finally, we've got an option to do this. I am curious, though, how these display cases are going to work because I know some people were reporting problems. I haven't heard it lately, like more towards launch, that settlers would randomly go in people's containers and steal your stuff. I don't know if that still happens or if that's been patched. I know they kind of patched the issue with settlers hopping in your power armor, and that was an annoying thing. I think that's been fixed by now. But for example, is Kate going to be able to lockpick one of my display cases and steal something from me? I just want to know if that's going to be something that's going to be handled. The last item under decorations is wall decorations and posters. So we didn't have posters before, we had paintings. Now we'll have some posters, probably some of the cool concept art for the game that we already have, like the Nuka-Cola girl, for example. Probably some options like that. The last large category that these new items are under is power. And within power, we have a new subcategory called manufacturing. And within manufacturing, there are conveyor belts, machinery, and miscellaneous. This just blows my mind in terms of thinking of the possibilities that we might have. Are we going to manufacture weapons, armor, ammunition, something like that? It would make a lot of sense. And we're going to have conveyor belts going back and forth if all of this is true, and, you know, machinery that could just be like a weapons manufacturing machine, an armor machine, an ammo machine, things like that. Really, this has a lot of possibilities and makes me a lot more excited about building in Fallout 4 if it's all true. And I don't know, maybe ball tracks have something to do with manufacturing. I don't think that sounds right, but it could be. And if it were right, it would make sense that ball tracks were under power instead of structures. But anyways, guys, lots of possibilities here. Let me know what you think we're going to be able to build. Also under the power category are marquee, advanced switches, and conduits. So if you guys don't know, a marquee, I had to look this up because I wasn't sure. A marquee is what you see over old-fashioned movie theaters. It's kind of like the glowing sign that shows you what shows are on now, what movies you can go to that theater and watch. That's what a marquee is. So interesting that that's a category that we can have. Advanced switches is here too. I'm not really sure what advanced switches refers to. Maybe it allows you to use switches with more advanced objects. Maybe it's got more functionality. Not really sure about that. And then finally, a conduit. Google also tells me that this is something you use to protect the flow of something. It could be power through a wire or something like that. That makes a lot of sense to me because, hey, maybe there's a way we can, you know, send all of our wires to one location that kind of protects them or something like that. Maybe it protects our wires from attackers. There's a lot of things that this conduit could be. Those are all of the new items or item categories that have been listed and shared by Omolong. And all of this is very exciting and whatnot, but the issue is that we don't actually know when any of it is coming or any of it is coming at all. I really appreciate the way that Omolong, the original user that posted this information, framed the expectancy of these items, because the fact is we don't know when these may come. What's encouraging to me is that all of these items are not too far-fetched. They do seem plausible within this universe, and the barn we've already seen is actually in the game or coming soon to the game, confirmed by that stream of Wasteland Workshop. Best case scenario is that we cross our fingers and hope that it comes out with Far Harbor, but the reality is that not all of this might come out at once. It could be that some of this comes with Far Harbor and the rest is left for a future update. Maybe they have another Wasteland Workshop type DLC coming out after Far Harbor. I know some YouTubers and some people have speculated that that might happen. That might happen. I'm not sure about that, but we don't know when this stuff is coming. So I'd like to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts on the legitimacy of this information? Do you think this is legit? Do you think this is coming with Far Harbor? Do you think it's coming with an update or maybe a future Wasteland Workshop type, you know, DLC that Bethesda is going to offer for a standalone price? Let me know all of what you're thinking in the comment section below. All right, guys, today I shared some information on potentially new items coming to Fallout 4. And next time we will cover more Fallout on my channel, so stay tuned for Fallout 4 tips and tricks videos. If you learned something new, remember to hit that like button. I would really appreciate it. And don't forget to subscribe for more survival mode coverage, Wasteland Workshop and Far Harbor DLC, and general tips and tricks videos. Talk to you guys next time. Peace.